Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm going to purposely not go into great detail because we're actually now at a point that two things are true, or one of two things is true. Either I'm pleased with my situation, in which case saying, gloating, or anything will be used against me and will actively, like, people would be looking for it, if that were the case, right? I'm not saying it is. Or I'm doing really poorly, in which case anything I say is going to be seen to be used against me because the context will be one of which I have no credibility or leverage to begin with, right? Like if I'm doing so poorly, this call could be seen as, and in a last Hail Mary attempt, Anthony took to social media and, tried to win through popular opinion, and that would stifle the legal process. In which case I agree, I think it would. I think that would be bad. The point being, we're now at a pivotal point where we're deep in it that me giving a optimistic or pessimistic opinion equally could hurt me. And I'm not interested in unforced errors. So that's what I'm going to say about that. By the way, the reason why I'm outside is because I had to do this call at 9:30 and my grandmother wanted Burger King. And I was nice enough because I'm a great grandson. I haven't checked an email in 2 days. So I have a lot of emails to catch up. I haven't checked in with my team in 2 days. I have to check in with them. But my team and I have been together for over a year and they have direction. So they're very autonomous to begin with. In fact, I check in with my team regularly in the morning where I send a group Slack about what my expectations are, where we should be, and if I'm wrong, tell me. It's actually the only conversation I have with them to begin with. So when I say I haven't checked in with them, it means I haven't particularly shared, all right, we should be over here. But the assumption, or at least the hope, is that they're already there. Like they're not children. In fact, I'm the youngest of our whole team. So they're adults. So I'm optimistic, but I do need to check in with them. In checking in with them, what I would like to do is give some direction on events for the search engine. I want that events button there. So I believe that'll be by the end of the day. I want to see where the Rhino bot team is, because I really want that to be ready for affiliate stuff. I really want to go ahead and prepare a launch. And the launch would look something like exactly what the video was. So if you go to rhinofriend.com, you'll see the half-hour video of when we shared everything that we're doing. Obviously, I'd have to take that half-hour video, turn it down to 5 minutes, maybe 10, which I can do. It'll just take a couple of hours of, re-editing. Well, not editing, but new copy and new recording. In which case, I'd like to start making the offer, in which case anyone that accepts the offer, there'll be two offers. Either A, join Rhino affiliate for free, right? You want to join it and you want to make money on your bot, recommending other people to get into Rhino, hence being compensated in Rhino. Great. We love you. I would love that. The second offering will be the premium side of it. So like $10 a week, in which case we're going to now include your business in the prompt. Therefore, anyone that ever has access to the bot, upon them saying anything that could closely relate to what you're selling, oh man, I really want to go jogging today. I wish I had better shoes. One of our rhinos has a shoe company. Oh, have you heard of Lou's Shoes? It's amazing. The next day delivery, and actually if you act now, it's free delivery next day. Want to check it out, right? Therefore, that $10 a week plan has the opportunity to be worth a lot of money to those individuals. To entice those individuals, because as I'm saying it out loud, I'm thinking to myself, well, it's a new launch. Why would let me see how it works first. Let me see how many bots are out there, because it's going to be completely dependent on the number of bots. So if we only have 10 bots out there, well, who's going to pay $10 a week to go ahead and market to maybe 10 people? They wouldn't. If we had 1 million bots out there, who's going to pay $10 a week to possibly market to 1 million people? A lot, right? So we know that the number of bots is directly proportionate to the value proposition. The problem with that is it infers that the value proposition is not enticing today. The only way around that is like what Mike Fulsame did over at Groove, where you do a fixed lifetime offer. You are in it for life for X amount. Now, Mike Fulsame, I think, did like $1,000 and you're free for life, something like that, a one-time payment. We don't have an interest in a one-time payment. We like recurring payments because, again, every week of Rhino, it all goes into it, and that's our number. Our number is how many people times how much a week. That's the number, or numbers. That's the calculation. So anytime we can increase either side of that, it's a good thing. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if I can go ahead and share a vision, or at least a step-by-step that in X amount of time we could get to X amount of bots in existence, well, then somebody's could make the decision to buy the future. All right, I'll join for $10 a week. Well, I mean, it's $10 a week. It's not gonna really hurt me that much. And Rhino is expecting that by 4 months there'll be 1,000 bots. And at 1,000 bots, this is what I could start expecting to earn. Okay, well in 4 months that equals 4.3 times 4, which is 13.2, which means 13.2 weeks will go by. I'm paying $10 a week. That means I could effectively just do a $130 one-time payment right now, and it would never change my life at all. Or I could do this $10 a week for 13 weeks, and you know what? If it doesn't work out, I'll cancel at that. And who knows? Maybe on our side we'll offer a refund. I don't know. I want the people in, and obviously I'm going to make sure that the product works. So maybe I'll offer a 100% refund, which sounds like, please, Anthony, put more pressure on yourself. The problem is once we think of something that is the highest standard, we can't think about something else. If I were someone on the other side and I was being given a 100% money back guarantee at $10 a week, and if I choose to stay in, I could be grandfathered into $10 a week for life, when conceivably you could do an easy calculation that a year or two from now, people will be paying $100 a week. I don't see the risk. Therefore, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we could go ahead and share that there is no risk, or there's a very minimal risk, or people can see a low risk, then more people get in. The more people that get in, almost by themselves, equal the value proposition that they want to be a part of. Because say 1,000 people get in, well, guess what? There's 1,000 bots. Effectively, you could almost create the market by offering a great deal, and if the deal is so great, you could guarantee the market. So if I said, hey, listen, we're doing this as a one-time, you better get in now, $1 a week, grandfathered in, 100%, guaranteed money back. If we don't hit our goals within 5 months, by then, if we don't hit our goals, 5 months times 4.3 weeks per month equals, I don't know, about 22 total week, which means you'll put in $22 over 22 weeks. You can have it all back, but God forbid we hit that goal, you're going to be really happy. Well, if that's the case, then how many people would say yes to that? Well, if your answer is 1,000 people would say yes to that, or 5,000 people would say yes to that, which by the way, we have 11,000 email opens a day, then if 1,000 people say yes to it, now you have 1,000 bots. If you have 1,000 bots in existence and you preferenced, or at least guided expectations that you would have 1,000 bots in existence, not only did you hit your number, but you're a person of credibility. We said we could get here, and we're there. Now remember what each bot does though. So like a lot of other things that we talk about, the 949, okay. Like a lot of things that we talk about, well, it's easy to get the people that like you in first. Of course it is. Anytime you open up a business or start something, the friends and family stuff, it's easy because people like you to begin with. They trust you, or they just want to support you. $1 a week, I don't know what the hell this thing is, but I can't, no big deal. Okay, great. The difficulty is getting the people that don't know you in after, because you have to convince someone that never knew you why they should join. The difference with this, it's doing it 24/7 on every one of your trusted channels with your permission granted, and it's doing it at an infinite level, and every time it brings somebody in, it's giving them the opportunity for them to create their own bots, in which case you're going to earn off of that bot. So effectively, and I say this factually, but not through personal experience. In the stock market, where I was at one point in my life, I was very good at it. I made people money. I was not the highest paid. I was not the highest paid stockbroker or investment banker in my firm. Not by a long shot. I had the best performance in the firm. I had the most money under management. I was not the highest paid stockbroker. The reason is there were many far more skilled in the art of flexible morality and short memory, that they would go ahead and get a stack of, say, 100 people. They'd call 50 and say buy green, or they call 50 and say red. I'm going to use roulette as an example. They would call 50 and say red, and call 50 and say black. Now, of the 50 that they got right, they would throw the other 50 away. So it was right. So now they call that 50 red, and they call 25 and say red, and 25 black. Okay, it was black this time. They throw the reds away. Now they're calling those 25 and saying 12 of them black, 13 of them red. It's red. They throw the 12 away. Now they have 13 names of individuals that they just gave 3 straight winning recommendations to, and they pound them. What would have happened if you would have listened to me in the beginning? I told you to put only $1,000. You didn't want to do it. Then the second time, after I showed you I was right, I told you just put 1,000 in again. You still wouldn't listen to me. Then the third time, you know what? I don't need to finish the story anymore. I got something to tell you. You're not getting the fourth one unless you put 100,000 in this idea right now, because you're no longer worth my time. I did my job. I showed you what I could do. Now be a man and step up. Or do you need to go ask your wife? Right? And they would say derogatory stuff like that. The point is, of those 13, that was a really effective strategy. 5, 6, 7, even 8 would go ahead and do that deal. Now, of course, what do you think the broker charged in commission? 5%. They full boated them, as we call it, because why wouldn't they? I just showed you how much I can make. I can make you 40, 50% overnight. I proved it 3 times in a row. Don't you think I deserve something? Because if you don't, I don't need to work with you. You need me. So the person will say yes. So let's play it out. So say they raised $500,000 that day. Commission, 5% to $500,000, $1,000. God forbid they're right. They're doing the $25,000 on the way out. But here's the thing. Even if they were wrong, Mr. Jones, I just got 3 right in a row. Okay, sorry, the 4th one was wrong. But what do you think the odds of the fifth one's going to be right? So I'm not discounting my service for you now. I'm still charging you 5% on the way out. And guess what? I'm going to charge you 5% on the next one, because I bet more than anything, two things are true. One, you know my ability, and two, you want to make that money back. You don't want to walk away as a loser. Are you? Are you a loser? I didn't think so. When you do this strategy, the strategy is not based on intelligence. It's not based on anything other than bullying and sales. The point being, actually don't know them, because it's not something we were saying that we'd ever do. I think the analogy I was trying to make is you can create a self-fulfilling prophecy by taking certain steps. Now that's an example of extreme steps that are really, really bad. But the point is, in sharing those extreme steps, as long as one can calculate and accept the premise that you could create an outcome, even a bad one, using slimy tactics, but if the mathematics of the premise works, then it's fine. Well, then you can also do the same thing by using good. So imagine that we use that same level of fervor for something good. And we use that same level of fervor within the prompts and the bots and all the rest of it, but for something good. And we use that same level of fervor, not for like $1,000 transaction, not for a $500,000 transaction, for like a $1 plan, a $5 plan. What would be the outcome? So I think that all ends up becoming a good outcome. My job now is to lay that out and start building it. And starting to build it is a bit misleading, because we have the box, it's done. Now what we need to do, clone it and to put a new prompt in it that is commensurate with what I just said. So that's going to take hours of work, but that's hours of work that's not problem solving, that's labor. I know how to do that. I could sit and put that prompt together, I could test. Honestly, I have fun doing that. I love this stuff. It's like the most fun stuff I've ever done in my life. So I love it. So to go ahead and give a bit of a recap, 11:55, and I do have a 10 o'clock call, which is why this call's earlier. I don't know where Rhino Bucks is. I think it's 261. I saw some selling yesterday, so I just brought it back up. I will be buying Rhino Bucks, but probably not till later today. So if you don't see me in the market on the earlier side of the day, it's just purely, it's a process. I have to send money here, and then wait, and then do this code and that code, because it's all really well protected, which is fine, but it's labor intensive. Well, actually, it's time intensive, and I just don't have it this morning. But it will happen before the end of the day. So I imagine I'll be at a new all-time high by the end of the day, unless someone, doesn't like my breath or something. Events will be done hopefully by tomorrow. I don't see that being a long thing. By tomorrow, I would like to share a more refined version of what I just shared now in terms of what that bot will look like. By next Friday, I want that completed. I manage these expectations because our next court is until August 7th. I'm kind of going to take a bit of a hiatus today to wrap things up. The wrapping of things is what I've already described. 2 days of emails that I'm behind, the court stuff, and speaking to the team, in which case tomorrow's call will have a very clearly defined, okay, Monday's this, Tuesday's this, Wednesday's this, and then court stuff is done. And then next week is just, let's get back to Rhino business. In which case I hug and kiss all of you for allowing me a certain level of tolerance and flexibility and all the rest this week and last week and the week before. Now I have 100% of me available. So let's go ahead and do some fun stuff. 9:59. I love y'all. For the people that are watching this on replay because they're getting in at the 10 o'clock and realizing there's not a 10 o'clock, I love you too. Please don't hate me. And I'm going to try to get this up as soon as possible. All right. Love y'all. Bye.